Number 12, Swanton. Also playing defense, number 23, Ben Kirby. And defense, number 19, Spencer Poe. And last right back, number 17, Max Crawford. At midfield, number 6, Jack Hughes. At midfield, number 8, Delvin McGinnis.
Good evening and welcome to another season of Lansing Common Football Club at Eastern Stadium. 2024 comes with a good deal of change for the Robins on the field. Today's starting lineup has 6 new faces, and the booth is no different. To my right, we've got Phil Friend, former Lansing State Journal sports reporter covering the Robins full-time. He's going to lend his voice to me up here and hopefully entertain all of you for the next 2 hours.
I will do my best to bring as much knowledge as possible, or fake my way enough to provide the correct commentary for everybody.
And with double the fun tonight, we've got a second color commentator. Greg, tell the people about yourself.
Hello, people. I am Greg. The last time I provided play-by-play or color commentary was in 2004 at Hazlitt High School. So I am thrilled to be here and living the dream.
These days, 2004 is a birth year that would make you one of the oldest players on the 2024 Robins. We've got, I believe, a starting lineup graphic, but with or without a graphic, the Robins in 2024 will have Sean O'Mara behind the pipes. He's a keeper out of Western Michigan, which is a familiar university for anybody that's followed this club for the last few seasons. Joining him out of Western is Ben Derby at center back tonight. Spencer Powell will also be starting at center back. No Kevin Payne tonight for the Robins, but he will be back from Niagara in the next few weeks. At fullback, we got a couple new faces. Brett Swatton out of Albion. Max Crawford, a defender out of Aurora University, who was plucked from West Michigan by the Metro Chicago D3 school in Aurora. At the 6th, center defensive mid, Jack Heald out of Nottingham, England. Rourke Watterson out of Parma, Michigan, up in the central midfield, joined by Ty Uziak, returning to the Robins in 2024 after a broken leg last year. On the wings, Victor Toon and Devlin McGinnis. And at the 9, Fedi Omar, who had a really successful 2023, really a breakout year. And joining Fedi is the 3rd Omar brother, Sammy. Phil, what do you like about this year's club?
Well, I think you've got a lot. You talked about the 6 new faces, but the 5 that do come back have plenty of experience for you guys. I remember covering Ty Uziak when he was in high school at DeWitt, and he's a guy who's provided a lot of great stuff for you. And Spencer Powell, same thing at East Lansing, and I believe he played for you guys last year as well, if I'm not mistaken. And these are guys who have played a lot of soccer in their life, and they also bring kind of those two in particular kind of bring like the local flavor that that you guys kind of strive in putting together this roster.
We took Spencer Powell from an open tryout, and Julian Burge told me at that open tryout that he had never seen Spencer Powell lose a ball in the air. So look for that from him tonight. As we are off with a kickoff to Ben Derby, who goes deep up the middle looking for Ty Uziak. The word written on the board before training the other night was just attack. Tonight, Brent Sorg told them before kickoff that he just wants to see them going forward. He does not want to see them in possession in their own end, just possessing for the sake of possessing, but he wants to see them pushing forward as the Robins roll out a 4-1-4-1 tonight. Phil, what's the most interesting soccer bet you've won lately?
The most interesting soccer bet I've won. Well,
we don't care about the losers.
Okay, well, I'm going to go. Can I go to horse racing, actually?
Sure, yeah. Let's hear it.
The last week's Kentucky Derby, I bet Mystic Dan at 30. Wasn't 30. It wasn't 30. It was 18-1, whatever the price was, and so that was a nice little return. I have not bet much soccer this year, oddly enough. So turns out I'm not very good at it. So I've I have limited the amount of time I have spent.
Healthy mentality as you see the Robins getting cut up a bit there on the defensive end. What you did see just before that, too, was Brett Swatton stepping up on a header to change possession. Swatty is a converted winger who's playing fullback, and in open practices earlier this week, and also a practice just with this squad, I heard his name again and again. Not surprising to me one bit to see him in the starting 11 tonight.
You know, Josh, I think it's also important to recognize our weather conditions tonight. While the field plays north and south, the wind is coming out of the northwest at about 15 miles an hour with some serious gusts. The flags are quite stiff tonight.
Thank you, Greg. Appreciate that shout. We do have our traditional early season Lansing Common game in the low 50s here, which means we're going to see a lot of merch sales for the long sleeves. Always happens this time of year.
Just absolutely hilarious mid-Michigan weather, because up until yesterday it was like 70, 75 degrees throughout the entire week. Then 49, 50, 58 degrees.
We were watching it all week, hoping for the good weather to hold out, and it did, as the boys with the wheat on their jerseys jumped a little bit off sides, making another dangerous run. Great ball from Rourke Watterson there.
Yeah, now he's a guy we talked a lot about before we went on the air, and I got to be honest, I'm pretty intrigued to see what he does. You know, he's one of, if not the youngest guy on the roster. He just finished his sophomore year of high school at Parma Western, and here he is getting put into the starting lineup for Lansing Common. So really getting his semi-pro, shoes or socks wet pretty early here in his career.
Not just the youngest, but a real diminutive out there, but you would not know that to see him in practice or out in the game today, as he just cut the ball over to Dev McGinnis there with a really nice looking weighted ball that just didn't quite find its mark. Dev McGinnis, another one who really impressed in the community kickoff last Sunday. He's also one who, with this being his first Lansing Common game day, was the attempted victim of a prank by Ben Derby and Coach Derby. He asked what to wear on game days, and they said, Dev, show up in your suit. And so we had photo crew ready to go, Instagram, Reels, ready to hit go on, and he did not show up in a suit. So Dev, crafty, not just on the field, but ready for that practical joke from the Derby family, and was not springing for it.
It's kind of disappointing. I kind of wish you would have went all the way for it. We got to see that suit, man. Even if you knew it was a joke, just go ahead and go for it.
As someone who's heavily involved in the social media content, I gotta say I agree.
You know, I'm not big on turf, Josh. I got to tell you what. I think the ball plays a little too quick around here, especially with the wind. I understand, we have to do it, but back in my day, which is, as I mentioned quite a while ago, I don't think I ever played on turf. Everything was always on grass.
It's a lot more common now because the upfront costs are more than equaled out by the savings in maintenance. They just got a gator over that. They just like drag stuff over it once every other week or something, and it keeps it in really good shape. But I hear you.
Yeah, the field is, I do have to say, is beautiful.
Like that right there almost could have been an example of that. I kind of thought maybe that ball would give it a nice little bounce and then over the goalkeeper's head. I think about that a lot when, I'm either watching high school or, most high school games on turf fields or whatnot.
It's also a little bit wet because of the rain we got this morning and last night. And so the ball's going to fly a little bit more off the ground than it typically would. So you see Livonia starting to establish possession a little bit more. Their danger has come from more long balls than from putting any pieces together. Don't know a lot about this team other than in their opener last weekend, just got absolutely smacked by Michigan Stars 4-0 in their first league game. Livonia, of course, was in the Great Lakes West with Lansing last year, and in the ongoing shuffling around of the Great Lakes Division of the Midwest Premier League, back in the East with the Metro Detroit teams this year, as Victor Toon makes a nice attempt. And there's Swatty going up, as he loves to do, playing more in his natural position over there on the left. Finding Ty, who's playing a little bit out of position tonight, and that is just partially because of the roster overall, but partially because not everybody's back from college yet. And so as you're looking for somebody to play that 8, play that 10 central midfielder position, somebody like Ty Uziak with a lot of experience and good head for the game is going to be able to do that. It's a dangerous high foot comes in, but Lansing extinguishes the danger.
Spencer Powell doesn't miss the balls. We saw right there, recovered and got away with it quickly. I think the keeper's got to come out for that cross, though. It seemed like he had time to go get it, and he just kind of stayed on his back feet there.
I agree, as these guys are still getting to know each other, and I don't know. Ben Derby is a little bit older than Sean O'Mara. I don't know how much they played together in college. That chemistry is going to come over this 3-month summer season, but not in the beginning of May necessarily.
I think that one also got hung up in the wind a little bit. As a former keeper, the wind was never your friend.
Attack here by Common. Oh.
Ty calling for a hand in the box. Ref says no, sir. Now we got Swatton again playing out of position with a real dangerous ball to the near post. Corner for Lansing Common. This is going to be really interesting. We've got Ty Uziak calling for the corner. What I've seen out of him in practice thus far, again, on turf and usually on wet turf in this early May weather, is a little bit of an inability to get the ball too far off the ground. Not something we're used to at Lansing Common historically, but first corner of the 2024 campaign. That ball had promise, but just a little bit too far by Ty.
A little off the mark there. Yeah, I don't think that initial cross that got the corner, I don't think that was the plan, but did force the keeper to make a save there and give Lansing Common an opportunity there to maybe score something there or get close off a set piece, but not in the cards for that one.
One surprise tonight for me, I would say, haven't seen Fedi Omar on the ball as much as you'd like. I don't know if he's just feeling a little bit out of sorts tonight or if that center back has really extinguished that threat, but as he dribbles over the goal line.
Yeah, the only other touch I can remember he had was also far away from the goal on the left side of the goal here. That was on the right side. So, yeah, it could be the way they're stepped defensively, or if he's just not getting to the spots that he needs to.
4-1-4-1 is a little bit of a unique formation already, and then when you've got fullbacks that like to get up as much as Lansing does, finding those pockets of space for a 9 can be difficult. As there's Rourke with another dangerous ball, finding Fedi in some space.
Made a nice run there too, but didn't get the service.
It's mistouched by Dev. Out of bounds and back to Livonia as Ty ran with the ball a little bit there, like he sometimes loves to do. Nobody gets in the opposing team's heads like Ty Uziak. I don't know how audible they are on the stream, but you can certainly see that the supporters group is out in force here for the first game of the season. 4 hours of tailgating later. They've also got flags this year to correspond to the countries of origin of a lot of our newer players. It's, Nicaragua, England, Burkina Faso, and Mexico all represented. Great run back by Spencer to catch up to that.
Yeah, he was beaten there, but a little short tug that also didn't get recognized, and then also got his body back in place too. So just great defender.
You saw some of the trade-off that we're making there with Swatton, as he maybe wasn't able to immediately cut off that cross playing out of position, but the coaches are willing to make that trade because of the threat that he presents on the offensive side.
You know, I have to say, having watched plenty of soccer over the last year with VAR. Seeing at this level and taking in and wondering, is that offsides? I've kind of forgotten how to view it now that it's just kind of automatic as you watch it at the top levels in the world.
What a ball.
But that looked real nice.
Boy,
Good.
Rourke has just really distinguished himself tonight.
He's doing a good job picking out spots.
In terms of a philosophy, I would say we're not necessarily likely to see the team settle on something that's dictated to them by Coach Brent Sorg. He wants to see them settle into the game, take what Livonia is really giving them, and also find where they're comfortable, especially in a friendly like this. You know, he is not. He likes to say he's not going to joystick them, as we see another not so close offsides call. But that, you know, whether it comes to, sometimes it might make sense to play over the top. Sometimes it might make sense to play out of the back, like you just saw it being given to the back line there. So,
well, neither team has really done much offensively. Livonia certainly looks like the more organized of the so far. At least they also have the most of the possession of the ball as well. As soon as I say that, they did that. So good.
maybe
good if
not,
you're a Lansing Common fan watching this live stream.
Maybe they're not used to this wet turf. Livonia gets there a little bit too early, and possession stays with the Robins. Once again, Rourke Waterston putting a real nice touch on the ball to touch it right back to Swati there. Hits it there. The run is on for Livonia, although I don't know that you'll see a lot of 35-yard shot attempts from Lansing Common. Brent Sorg really doesn't want to see that, but
yeah, Marcelo Rocco really kind of gave it a whirl there.
Well, it's a friendly.
There's no rules in friendlies. You guys can do whatever you want out here.
I don't. Maybe he doesn't know there's a trophy on the line.
And I'm quite intrigued by the orange barrel this year.
Or maybe he was trying to become an I-96 Derby legend.
Yeah, that's definitely foul.
And looks like we're going to a booking here.
As you see Dev McGinnis putting a little bit of press on there to earn that foul and card. The tactics for tonight, for the first 15 minutes, which we're just reaching, Coach Sorg called for the Robins to sit in a little bit of a low block, but he also added in the locker room pregame, a little bit of press is going to be in order. I think you're going to see that increase throughout the game, but he's also willing to let his guys go up and get that if it makes sense.
Free kick here from about 30 yards out.
A little bit too much on that ball there, as the Robins are still trying to find their main man on the free kicks.
Yeah, don't think he was going for the goal for there. Don't think he was going for goal there. Looks like he was trying to Ben Derby. Yeah, that was Ben Derby at the far post and couldn't quite find him.
I don't think we can blame the turf there either.
I mean, soccer fans will blame anything but their own team for reasons why they lose. So why not blame the turf?
Yeah, perhaps there's a bit of a crown on the field.
Jack Heald out of Cleary University. It's Lansing Common's first Cleary player. Although Steve Horn, assistant coach returning this year, is in the athletic department at Cleary and also coaches women's soccer there. So certainly has gotten an up-close look at the second Jack on the roster of the 2024 Robins.
Yeah, Steve Horn, of course, coach of the 2002 MHSAA state champion Williamston girls soccer team.
This is why you guys are up here. I need that local history, local flavor.
Good hustle here by UCF. Oh, keeper off the line. No.
I think the right idea, though, there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that was all UCF there. He just stole the ball to the defender and a little hustle play there and saw the keeper was way up and then just a little too much mustard on it.
That, again, that one-off press, not surprising to see. The energy from Ty, not surprising to see. And maybe a little bit too much energy as he just put it a bit too high on the attempt there with the open net.
Blame that on the wet turf as well.
There you go. We got to get as many of those in as we can, because how many other games are there going to be this year with wet turf?
I know, could be all of them. Basically, you never know.
We checked the tornado off on Tuesday, so that seems to be turning into an annual tradition for.
That kind of feels like that was an illegal throw-in for those watching, but you know what? We'll just we'll let it go. Looked like a little sidewinder throw there.
That's a nice twist on it.
The consistent throw-in specialist is another position that we're still looking to be filled this year. So that is something that was certainly covered up by previous Lansing Common squads. Nice work by Spencer Powell to win the tackle and not get booked. And great hustle by Swati to win that back. Swatton finding Dev McGinnis out of that. McGinnis playing about way deep out of position in the left wing, which again, Brett Sorg loves to have talented wingers, and he's been lucky to have a few of those in his tenure here at Lansing Common. And he loves to ask his fullbacks to go up and his wingers to play back. That is not a problem for Sorg and this coaching staff.
I think while this game has had some moments in possession here, it's definitely been a, how do we say, a back and forth without necessarily a ton of possession being kept by either team.
A lot of turnovers in this one. It is kind of interesting to try to play a 4-1-4-1 with two wingers that like to bomb up the pitch, because you're leaving a lot of open space in the midfield. And we've seen Livonia have it in there a little bit, but I don't know if they've really taken full advantage of what Common's trying to do.
Well,
so.
and that's going to reflect a couple things, Phil.
Speaking of, here's goodness, nobody home.
Couldn't find anybody in the box. First is that there's not going to be much of a scouting report for a game like this, but historically, Lansing Common has had a lot of talent in the midfield. And this year, a lot of new guys in the midfield, so a lot of uncertainty in that area of the pitch. And so maybe not something that opposing squads are going to look to attack here in early May. But the other reason being, it's just early. And a lot of uncertainty as Livonia, at the 21-minute mark, has 2 subs lined up already.
Not a bad ball from Watterson there, but keeper was on it.
Seeing more of the same from Lansing that we've seen a lot from Livonia here, which is just really long diagonal crosses trying to find somebody. Not a lot of coherent, organic buildup. Nolan Chappett for Livonia looking for a foul there. It looked like he just fell over, though.
I think Livonia might have had something there, but they ran offside there before they had a chance to do anything. Another long ball from Lansing Common to right to the goalkeeper.
You know, Rourke is starting to find some space in the middle of that pitch to work with. I'm wondering if we might have our solution at the 8 or the 10. Fede Omar there in the press. You haven't seen Ty Uziak flash that speed much tonight. He's not been able to get out in open space. But when he does, he's going to show himself to be the fastest player on the pitch. Ben Derby making up space quickly, cover up that overlap run.
Uncommon earning a goal kick there with a good effort.
I'd say Ben Derby looking like a veteran there. Let the ball roll out of play.
We got Dave Turner and Giovanni Cavelli coming in for Livonia City. Coming out, Nolan Chappett. May have taken a nick there when he tripped earlier, not sure. And Mitch Jones.
Josh, do we have any special substitution rules for the friendly today?
I believe we are following the Midwest Premier League rules for this year, which means each club gets 3 windows per half. 7 subs, but subs can re-enter. But it's also a friendly, so I wouldn't expect either coaching staff or the referees to be policing that too closely. Expect to see close to 40 guys from both rosters at the pitch tonight. Great hustle by Dev McGinnis, but the ref was playing advantage and called a foul from earlier in the build-up.
Not sure I saw that one.
I'm going to have no complaints about the referees if we can escape most of our league games without a red card this year.
Opportunity here.
McGinnis finding some space on the other end of that cross.
Oh, another strong shot with his left foot there.
Keeper wasn't really ready for that, although Matt Rafferty for Livonia made up a lot of space really quickly. Made it hard on him. He had Fetty Omar in the box, but couldn't quite find him. Not sure he was looking for him.
It's going to be Watterson taking the corner this time.
With the stutter step, Rourke looking for Ty short. No, he's not. Rourke wants to throw in himself. Has Ty on the overlap run. Looking for Swati. We know he can lash into the box from there. He is working it around to Max Crawford.
The ball found the side netting, just on the outside.
Yeah, Powell stayed up there. I think he was looking for a cross, trying to get his head on one if the opportunity presented itself, but it did not. As he races back to.
Couldn't quite get his right foot all the way around to there.
Good idea, though.
A lot of history between these two clubs, as they are 2 of just 4 of the remaining Michigan Midwest Premier League sides dating back to 2021. New this year, West Michigan Bearings have suspended operations, which at this level usually means we're not going to hear from them again. And BIH Grand Rapids still playing soccer, not playing in the Midwest Premier League. Typically tight and meaningful matches between these two sides, although they have never tied, and Livonia has never won a game against Lansing Common. There you go again, Phil. A little bit of Ben Derby and Sean O'Mara not quite on the same page.
No. But they figured a way out eventually.
Figured a way out and almost got Fetty Omar into a dangerous position, as Lansing almost had numbers if Victor Toon had found the right throw. Crawford finds Rourke. Rourke going for it from the top of the box.
Why not? 25 yards out. That's the spot. You know, I don't think we've said Toon's name a lot today. Is that because he's on the far side of the pitch from us, or has he just not had the ball that much? Hard. Who can say?
It's a good question. Toon is a lot like his.
Ooh, handball, right? Yeah. No.
You know, Phil, what is a handball these days?
Need VIR to tell us that.
Yeah. The Premier League rules carrying over to the Midwest Premier League.
Whoa.
I had a little mustard on that pass for some reason.
Looked like he was trying to find Vic Toon. Victor Toon is a lot like his college classmate at Spring Arbor, Jack Voigt, in that he's a little bit of a quiet, unassuming guy, but just rock solid, reliable on the pitch, which is Brent Sorg's favorite word when it comes to what he looks for in squad members.
Jack Voigt, also Lansing Common's all-time leading scorer. Do I have that right?
You have that right.
Yeah.
Livonia went for the give and go, and the go was not there.
And I'll be honest, every time I hear Jack Voigt, I just think John Voigt. So. Well, I've got a feeling that Jack Voigt's a significantly better soccer player than John.
And much nicer, too.
It's a very low bar, very low bar to cross, to be fair.
Fetty Omar playing way out of position.
Yeah, he's Harry Kane-like, coming all the way back to get the ball, and then
unforced turnover.
A couple seconds later.
Spencer Powell away on the right side. As
Another
they were
defensive miscue. But the miscues, they haven't really led to any big chances at all from Livonia City, so no harm, no foul so far.
And when will Harry Kane get that trophy?
Probably never at this rate. I mean, you go to a team that's won the Bundesliga for, what, 13, 14 straight years, and can't win that first year, nor win the German Cup, or of course, coming off the Champions League disaster from midweek. That's pretty crazy. I don't think they're here to listen to me talk about Harry Kane, although I could talk about him for the remaining 70 minutes if we really wanted to.
Say, I'm more surprised that we got Kane talk out of Phil Friend before we got Spurs talk, but I guess.
I mean, Harry Kane, even though he left last summer, I mean, he still was with Spurs for almost 20 years.
A lot of space for Common as they try to play out of the back here. Ben Derby finding Swati, who is able to find Jack Heald, who wins some space. Max Crawford making moves in open space, and then
I think that was some wet turf there.
Toon just misplayed it in the air.
I think so. I think that's weird bounce off, wet spot right there.
We got new balls this year too, so we can blame those as well.
So many good options to blame everything on. Swatting again with the ball. Boy, felt like it hit off the top of his arm a little bit there, but nothing from the rest there.
Nice move by Victor Toon, and just knowing his buddy Max Crawford was going to be right there behind him. Pop the ball in the box.
See, now we're talking Toon.
Maybe he was listening. A little bit of sluggish play on both sides, and Lansing has really the last 3 years as a club had difference makers, whether it be Julian Burge, Shitty Omar, we mentioned Jack Voigt, Seth Russ, Munir Shirali, and just a little unlucky today that all those guys are either not on the squad or not in the squad today. Seth Russ just getting back into Michigan from Stetson in Florida. Jack Voigt just getting back with the squad from Spring Arbor. And a lot of the younger guys in the squad also dealing with club duties now early in the summer. And so just some interesting factors to deal with at this level, at this point in the summer, that I'm sure will be straightened out certainly by the end of May, to say nothing of the end of the summer.
Yeah, I mean, of course, once Jack Voigt gets in the mix here, I think this teams and things will look a little different for sure on the positive side in terms of getting more forward on attacks perhaps and maybe creating a few better chances or whatnot.
And, look, we came into tonight saying the question marks are kind of at the 6, at the 8, at the 10 for Lansing Common.
That's it.
And we've got Ty Uziak playing more centrally in the midfield and really has shown himself to at least be capable in that position. And then young Rourke Watterson has played 3 or 4 balls that made us all exclaim. So a lot of good, even if it's been a little sleepy at times.
I don't think thus far either team would be necessarily disappointed with how they played thus far, but just kind of trying to, I think, find their legs and, early on in the season figure out what they're all about.
This thing ends 3-1. We'll just say, oh, they were just settling in for the first 30 minutes. But, of course, we're all rooting for a draw so we can watch some penalty kicks.
Yeah, I don't know if you said that on the telecast or not. That's something we might have just talked about before the game started.
That's right. It is a friendly, but there's also a trophy on the line, and so both sides have agreed to play PKs immediately at 90 if the game is tied. Something for our viewers to look forward to.
That was a nice cross by Toon there, but nobody in the box to be on the receiving end as it got all the way through inside the 6 there.
Relatively easy for Lansing to retain possession there as Livonia is just swinging 10 guys from the crossbar. Shouldn't have said that. They gave it right back.
Good play by Watterson there.
Rourke Watterson once again dangerous.
Yeah.
Ty just unable to get anything on that free header in the box.
I mean, that was a tough one for Ty, to be fair there. That was a in-swinger and, probably 12 yards out, 15 yards out, maybe trying to put a looping header in. But
as we talk about some of those difference makers, Seth Russ, Jack Voigt, and Avery Dresky, 3 returners for Lansing Common, all getting loose in the sidelines, getting ready to come in as we enter the 35th minute.
Wow.
Seth Russ wearing the 9. The question mark here is going to be whether he or Jack Voigt go in for Fetty. I would bet we see Seth Russ in at the 9, and we see Jack Voigt in the central midfield. And then Avery Dresky either in for Jack Heald or joining Jack Heald as a second 6 in the central defensive mid.
Yeah, I was going to say, I suspect we'll see a formation change as well, Josh.
It depends on who Sorg decides to take out as Fetty leaks offside there. We could go 2 6s here and shift to a 4-2-3-1. We could pull Jack Heald off the field and put Avery Dresky in, keep the 4-1-4-1 look from the first 35. Nice awkward save by Sean O'Mara there. It's another dangerous diagonal ball from Livonia, just about snuffed out by Ben Derby. Gave up a shot from 20 yards out.
Yeah, it's the second time Roke has kind of had an open look from distance there, and that one went right at the keeper. I think the last one went right at the keeper as well, so he's had a couple chances here to maybe do something, but has not made O'Mara work too hard for him.
Jordan Witt came up hurt on that. Ref might be concerned about a head injury here, but we just wanted to yell at Ben Derby a little bit and then check out. Witt coming off for Jason Janowski. And we're making so many subs at the same time that we're having a hard time keeping up.
Yeah, Omar's off. McGinnis is off. And
Jorge Ellis on
Watterson.
for Livonia.
No, that's
Seth Russ went in for Toon.
Toon's off, yeah. Toon, McGinnis, and Omar off for Lansing Common.
And lastly for VLCFC, number 21,
And it looks like it is Voigt up top. Or,
Immediate danger.
Yeah,
off the
immediate danger.
substitution.
We're right off
the
the
triple substitution.
Yeah, you had
for
Voigt,
Brett
and
Sorg.
Voigt, Russ, Uziak, and Watterson all up in the mix there.
Voigt's in for Dev McGinnis in the left wing. Is that what I saw?
Yes. It looks like Uziak is up top, or if they're going to, that might be two forwards with Uziak and Voigt both playing as forwards.
Oh, a little nice
Boy,
opportunity
that triple
there.
substitution for
Yeah.
Brent Sorg has just completely changed the shape of this game.
A couple of oohs and ahs from me. I apologize. Things just went quickly.
Yeah, I've done it like 10 times here, so I think you're okay. Just like ooh,
Dresky occupying that central defensive mid space ahead of the back four.
It's the first opportunity in a while that Livonia's had an opportunity to possess in their back third. Lansing had quite a bit of pressure in the last several minutes.
it does look like a 4-2-3-1 with Ty up top.
Yeah, we got twin sixes in the central defensive mid of Jack Heald and Avery Dresky.
About 6 minutes remaining in the scheduled first half.
I don't think we've had a couple subs, so I guess we might get a minute. Might get a minute of stoppage time.
And you know, I would say what this squad was missing was not fitness. It was a little bit of confidence and just a mentality shift. As you see, Jack Voigt, somebody who is always looking to be dangerous, even out of possession. Seth Russ as well, flashing the same there.
Spencer Pockerman way over to make a nice clean tackle there. And get the ball back.
What I also like about this particular lineup at this point in time is imagine you're young Rourke Watterson, all of 16, 17 years old, and all of a sudden you're surrounded by three guys with a ton of minutes, a ton of experience, both at the college level and at Lansing Common, and Ty Uziak, Jack Voigt, and Seth Russ. Goals and assists aplenty. Just a great opportunity for a young man like that.
And I think fitting in quite well.
No doubt.
He looks like he's been with the team forever.
Speaking of,
Oh, yeah.
Finding all kinds of space and finding Seth Russ opening the box. Russ unlucky there.
That keeper, he has done a pretty good job of making his timing is when running out of the box to stop every threat here.
He's not always put himself in the best position, but he's always made the most of those positions. I don't know what we count that. Spence was not able to win that ball, but it was headed harmlessly to Ben Derby, so.
Quinn Tews is the keeper for Livonia City today, and made a Did a good job there of coming out of his box to stop the attack there, or make a save actually on Russ's shot. Yep, that's going to be a foul.
The supporters chanting, "Hit the weight room," after Jack Heald whistled for the foul.
After Heald gave him a forearm shove to the back.
Hey, you know.
No, as a supporters group, you have to support your squad no matter what the call is.
There
or
is
what
a
oh,
great tackle by Max Crawford.
no penalty shot from anybody.
Think that maybe would have gotten called differently in league play, but I will take the no call.
And I mean, nobody called for a penalty there, so play on.
I think the wet turf might have ate him up there a little bit.
So many spots on this turf here that very vulnerable for everybody.
You know, as someone who dabbled in refereeing while I was also playing high school soccer, you know, calling a penalty kick was never really something that I really wanted to do.
Ty had a look at a turnover there. I'm not sure if it looked closer than it was from up here, but he seemed to not recognize the situation as it was unfolding.
Yeah,
Rourke again winning a tough ball, finding himself on his back.
And quite the understatement, a miscommunication there from Russ and Uziak there. Another hard. Tackles are coming in a little harder and harder as this first half comes to an end.
And the wind has not let up either. It has been just like this out of the west almost the entire first half.
Phil, you mentioned nobody calling for a penalty. I'm also not seeing Livonia calling for possession when the ball goes out of bounds. You think that's a friendly mentality, or you think that's just a lack of juice on that side of the ball?
Feels a lack of juice, I guess, would seem to be my honest assessment here. Sorry, apologies to the Livonia City fans that are.
I think their fan is down here on the left, lighting off the. Shout out to Wheaties.
Creative.
Yes, indeed. I don't know where the wheat fields are in Livonia. I'm sure it's probably a historical reference, but
before capitalism took over.
Yeah, I don't know how you would otherwise characterize Livonia, I guess.
You did bring up a point I hadn't really thought about. We have not seen very many Livonia City throw-ins in this first half. I didn't think about that until you said that, but I'm like, yeah, what a good ball. Going to get a corner here in the final seconds of the first half.
Real well to win a corner, and Uziak running to be on top of the ball. Seth Russ going to be the short option. Targets aplenty for Uziak in the box.
Somebody went for a bicycle kick there. That Voigt.
The counter is on.
Greg, I'm with you. I think that was a little bit of wind that took that from being an awfully dangerous corner headed for Spencer Powell on the near post to sailing over his head.
It is brisk.
I think I saw the ref signal 1 minute for 1 minute of extra time. Oh, it's also on the sign right there.
60 seconds with a real clean first half. One injury, a couple fouls, a card against Livonia City.
Yeah, that was Mitch Jones for Livonia City.
One last moment of danger for Lansing, and that's a goal for Jack Voigt. Welcome back, young man. See the front flip out of Jack Voigt again. And that odd man rush has been the only way that either side has manufactured any kind of danger, and it pays off for Lansing Common here.
Yeah, it's
dying moments.
It's crazy. We've seen that a couple times here from Common in the first half where they just on one-on-one action, they have forced a turnover and create a good chance. A couple of other times the keeper came out and made a stop or a defender got in the way in the last second, but that was not the case there. Voigt had some defenders chasing him, and he was able to chip it in right before the half ended.
The keeper caught himself again in no man's land, having seen that 3 or 4 times already. One bound to go through for sure.
Yeah, Jack Voigt's not going to miss an opportunity like that.
He's Lansing Common's all-time leading scorer for a reason, folks.
Well, unfortunately, I don't think that one. Well, we're going to have to consult with Jordan Stoddard, official statistician for the club, but I'm not sure how that one is going to end up in the record books as Swati tracks way back to extinguish a threat. So we are into our 2nd minute of extra time. This should do it for the first half. You wonder how that's going to change the calculation for Coach Brent Sorg headed into halftime. We know we're going to see keeper Will Barry, and I wonder what other subs we're going to see as the triple sub pays off in the 35th minute. At halftime, Lansing Common 1, Livonia City 0. And we are back for the second half from Eastern Stadium. A couple adjustments and pieces of feedback from Coach Brent Sorg. First of all, baller alert. Rourke Watterson playing out of the middle. Had the same bit of feedback that the three of us did, which is that keep that up. And also for those three up top, which right now is Uziak, Jack Voigt, and Seth Russ, be ready for some crazy balls that you might not be expecting from Rourke Watterson. So as Livonia is coming out offensively with a little bit more energy than the first half, as they were standing out there in formation, ready to go for a couple minutes before Lansing Common even broke out of the locker room.
Little head game there, maybe, Josh.
Could be. Not typically the head game that we see from visitors here at Eastern Stadium. Typically they like to hang out in their own locker room. I think Coach Sorg, with his new system of an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator, maybe just not used to being as economical with his time in the halftime locker room.
Another near miscue there by the Lansing Common defenders there, but once again, Livonia City not able to take advantage.
And that was really, truly how Lansing Common did score in the first half. A miscue by Livonia City, and the Lansing took advantage.
TJ Withrow has joined the second half lineup. I believe he's playing center back, although he's a little out of position right now. They're in the white sleeves, number 4 for the Robins.
Another Spring Arbor guy.
Spring Arbor, of course, previously coached by former Lansing Common head coach, now Eastern Illinois head coach Josh Oakley. Now coached by former Lansing Common player Marco Bernardini.
Dare I say pipeline.
Ball is just out as Crawford was trying to find Seth Russ. Something we didn't call out in the first half is Livonia has been playing with a back three, which both gives interesting opportunities to this Lansing Common 4-2-3-1 attack, and is something that they maybe weren't ready to exploit necessarily. Not something they're seeing in training twice a week here at Eastern Stadium.
Oh, another miscue here. Can they take advantage? No.
Ty Uziak with a sliding shot from the penalty spot.
Defenses are a little rusty here to begin the second half. I was off a misplayed throw-in by Livonia City.
I also, because as many Lansing Common fans know, Michigan Stars lack a lot of things in their facilities, including a scoreboard, a clock, and a reliable camera and stream operator. So I have no idea what kind of formation or what kind of starting lineup Livonia ran out in their first league game against Stars last week. I did not make the trip down to Washington Township to scout. So I couldn't tell you if this 3-back line is new for these guys, if they're a little uncomfortable back there. But it's certainly, again, something that the Robins will continue to look to exploit.
You couldn't find any of your connections to secretly film the game Bill Belichick style or anything like that?
Not in Northern Macomb, no.
I was just going to say, I'm not sure a trip to Washington Township would be worth it no matter what.
Nice patience by Ty, laying it off for Rourke, who just misses the upper bar. Washington Township does have right across the street from the Stars facility a Michigan chain sports bar whose name escapes me, but Lansing's getting a new one over in Eastwood.
I believe it's Art and Jake's.
That's right, Art and Jake's. I went to Art and Jake's with a barely 21 Luca Maloney in a couple years ago. I don't remember if it was 21 or 22, but was excited about the Art and Jake's. Was horrified to discover some of the facilities there.
Another speculative through ball there by Rourke Watterson.
Yes,
he continues
indeed.
to he's gonna get those balls to the right spot here eventually, I think.
And Max Crawford intercepting the ball in the center of the pitch, playing again up in more of a central midfield position. great ball from Ty for Seth Russ there. Just good enough defending from Livonia to hold off Seth Russ at the doorstep of the goal.
Josh, you had mentioned earlier a offensive and defensive style coaching format. Who's providing the offense and defense this year?
Yes, sir. We've got Steve Horn coordinating Lansing Common with the ball. We've got Todd Derby coordinating Lansing Common off the ball. Brent Sorg preferring to focus his energies on running the whole operation as opposed to getting too buried in tactics. Thinks that it's going to be a better use of everybody's time and energy this year. And certainly the biggest coaching squad in terms of numbers and time commitment that we've had in our 4-year history. We've had 4 guys before, but that fourth coach has been a mental skills coach in the past or less able to give more time. This year, in addition to Sorg, Derby, and Horn, Eric Court is coordinating goalkeepers for the Robins.
I appreciate the explanation.
Ty making that run down the right side. Another note from Coach Steve Horn in the halftime locker room was that a lot of times they will make that run down the right or the left side, and there won't be a lot of bodies in the box, which, Phil, I know is something that you shouted out earlier, too.
Yes, this has happened multiple times already in the game for Lansing Common. But I think it's one of those things that once they get more practices and more games under their belt, there'll be a little more of a, mentally a little more of an idea that more people, when certain things are happening, need to rush forward a little more to get into the box. Another throw-in.
Commons come with a bit of possession here in the attacking third to start the half, with a few opportunities as well.
Yeah, again, can't speak to whether this Livonia side is what they're going to run out for most of their Great Lakes East campaign, but certainly the quality that Lansing Common has brought on towards the end of the first half there has them a cut above.
So the second or third time this half they've attacked that right channel there. I wonder if they think they've got something going that way or not.
And speaking of quality, new this year at Lansing Common home games, if you are in a position to make it to Lansing, Tante, Peruvian food. That Tante is a standby at the Allen Neighborhood Center, which is another new sponsor for Lansing Common this year. You can see their truck right over there behind the supporters stand.
And I can smell their food from inside the press box.
It's absolutely phenomenal. We've had a few standouts. I hope this one sticks.
Hard to tell if that one made it through the uprights or not, but considerably over the crossbar.
Another long-distance attempt does not find the mark. As we hinted at this coming, but Will Berry is, in fact, between the sticks for Lansing Common for the second half. He broke on to the roster as a 17-year-old last year. I want to say he's about 6'5", and it comes from Hazlitt and is now playing his college ball at the University of Dayton. Just a really talented young keeper, somebody who's, if he so chooses, is going to get a lot of minutes for Lansing Common in the summers to come.
And as a Hazlitt High School alum, great to see a soccer player making it into Division I out of the group. As a former keeper as well, I stand about 5'7". He at 6'4", 6'5", significantly better than I was as well.
Height's definitely overrated as a goalkeeper. You've 5'7", 5'8", perfect height to stop everything.
Perhaps if the goals were, I would say, 6x6. I know what you're getting at, though, Phil. I appreciate it, but
I say we need that needed huddle around back when you were in college, so we can scout the tape ourselves and see see if you have those cat-like reflexes or not.
It hasn't seemed to impact whether a keeper makes the roster, but our starting keepers for the Robins have certainly trended taller. Ethan Brandt, the most recent example of that.
Recently drafted.
Recently drafted by the LA Galaxy.
Yeah. We'll see if he has a longer career with them than Farai Matatu did. Although there was some complications with that, not related to playing ability or attitude or anything like that. Just
this is why we're going to the three-man box as much as we can this year. We got Galaxy talk, we got Harry Kane talk. Any requests in the comments, Scott?
Hi, Cam.
Is it Cam McLaren? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well, hello to Cameron Tanner from Phil and from all of us. It might be a little too painful for Cam McLaren to tune in here. This, his first game out of the booth for Lansing Common.
And if we need to get into any MLS talk, tonight is the Hell is Real Derby as well. My Cincinnati FC taking on Columbus.
Any expectations?
I think it's going to be an excellent match, probably a tie, as that's what they seem to do. Though having attended and gone to games in both stadiums, incredible American soccer facilities that both those cities have put together. Great atmospheres for watching soccer, that's for sure.
Yeah, you talked about Ethan Brandt getting drafted. We did not mention this as well when we talked about Aiden O'Connor. He was also drafted in the MLS Super Draft this year for Lansing Common.
Favorite Robins ever.
It looks a bit like Chris Klein.
Center back from the 2021 squad, was at Western Michigan at the time, as we've said a few times tonight. Really consistent pipeline for Soccer Broncos to this squad. Transferred to Virginia, I assume off the strength of his 2021 Lansing Common campaign.
As one does.
That's right. Spent a couple years there, and as Phil said, got drafted by the New York Red Bulls.
And I look forward to his debut.
Not the first Virginia alum with Lansing ties to play soccer professionally, at least get drafted. Zoe Morse, who played collegiately at Virginia, played for the Red Stars in the NWSL and in the Women's Super League for Brighton as recently as last year. So that's all I think I'm out of I think I used up all my trivia right there for the entire year.
You did valiantly. I don't know that Aiden's been named to a matchday squad yet, but I have seen some Instagram content with him seemingly on the sidelines of a Red Bulls Inter Miami game. So might be close.
It was a tough loss for them, too. I believe they were up at halftime.
Unlucky missed tackle by Ben Derby, but the flag is up for offsides. The most dangerous moment of the match for Livonia City was not to be.
Ooh. It was a hard tackle from behind.
Nice diagonal ball to find Rourke, who gets fouled from behind. No card shown. Max Crawford coming out of his center back position. Finding Seth Russ, who puts a nice ball to Jack Voigt, who's alone with the keeper, and the keeper snuffs it out. There you go, Phil. That keeper has been coming up at the right moments tonight, and
a lot of good sweeper keeper action from him so far today.
An excellent save.
Phil's looking up Aiden O'Connor trivia. Does he have a number listed? I know he likes to wear number 23.
Well, I will get to that in a second, but he did play 90 minutes for the Red Bulls in their second round U.S. Open Cup match against NYC FC 2.
There you go.
And he also has played, and that's his only professional game. He has also
Sure,
played seven. He's played 7 in MLS Next Pro.
As our viewers may know, the boundaries of the MLS rosters get a little squishy for those Open Cup matches in 2024.
He is wearing number 23, in fact. That's the number you said a few seconds ago, right? Yep, number 23.
TJ Withrow tracking back. Once again, the threat extinguished, and Rourke Waterson's got plenty of space in the middle of the pitch. Finds Avery Dresky.
Talk about a soccer name, though. Avery Dresky.
I didn't even know whether you were talking about Avery or Rourke. We've got two solid soccer names. There's another great diagonal ball, finds Jack Voigt. Coach screaming to get in the box. Might have been a parent. And coming back the other way for Livonia, as this match is starting to open up a little bit more here as we crest the 60th minute.
I think Livonia would have had an opportunity there had the wind not been what it is right now.
Max Crawford with a really strategic chest there of the ball as he was outnumbered there in the center, top of the box. Rourke calling for a cross as he's alone. Can't quite get to him.
Livonia committing a lot of defenders back.
Consistent theme today. Even if they plan to play a back three for most of the season, I wouldn't be surprised if that's a little bit uncomfortable for these guys.
Looks like Sammy Omar about to come in for Lansing Common.
The ball is thrown back in before Ty can get off the pitch, and didn't quite keep track of all the subs that Livonia made.
I believe it was number 2 who came on, but I did not see who came off. Sorry to everybody listening and watching. 2, Mitch Jones. He's the one who got the yellow card in the first half.
Our apologies to Mitch Jones' parents if they are tuned in.
Speaking of people watching, here in person, quite the opening day crowd as well.
Yes, indeed. We'll get a number from head of operations, Steve Beckman, here in the next 15 minutes or so. But, yeah, it's a late arriving crowd, typically, here in Lansing, which is why we, for those who don't know, now you know, we start generally 10 minutes after the top of the hour. To allow folks a chance to get their tante, get their concessions, get their merch, and get to their seats. But certainly, Greg, as it is 58 degrees here.
A lot in common between the two LAs, Los Angeles and Lansing area. Late arriving crowds.
Well, if you ask,
am I allowing that?
If you ask Graham Couch, he will tell you that we are basically in Michigan's Los Angeles here. Rourke doing work there in the left corner and just can't quite get around the defender. Goal kick for Livonia City.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever meet a person that loves the city of Lansing, Michigan more than Graham.
And yet, where is he tonight?
Date night, I hear. I don't know why date night would be anywhere but here, but apparently it is.
The food options are impeccable.
Foreign cuisine.
That's right. Unparalleled.
Sunshine. Ignore the temperature, and it's perfect.
if you just show up early enough, the best seats in the house are actually just below where we're standing, both because you're out of the wind, you're sheltered from the sun, and because you get to listen to us.
Who wouldn't want to do that?
I think, Josh, you've also neglected to mention that you can lean up against the press box as well.
That's right. That's right. The seats have backs. Lansing, once again, just maintaining possession in a way that has been out of character from the first half, but not surprising from what we saw the last few minutes of that first half has certainly carried over.
I also think that was at least the third handball committed by Lansing Common tonight that was not that the ref on that one the ref was looking right at it and was like, we're gonna keep playing on.
Brett Swatton going way up. Ben Derby does not see him.
No, he did not.
In training, generally they're screaming for that ball, trying to be a little craftier here. As we've got Seth Russ more in the traditional 9, Sammy Omar tucked in more of a 10 attacking role. Which
I
means
think Livonia may want to commit one more person up top. They would have had an opportunity there.
We got, there was I can't tell who that was, streaking down the left flank there. And
that's Max Crawford.
Max Crawford
playing out of his center back position.
As one does.
Yeah. A little Rayon 8 Nori there.
Yeah, this is kind of Lansing Common, really kind of the opposite of what they did in those first 30-some minutes. See, they are throwing all sorts of numbers forward and not.
As I said in the first 5 minutes, Coach Sorg wants them to attack, and he wants them to do that in ways that are maybe uncomfortable, uncharacteristic for some of these guys, but as they get settled into the game, it's starting to show a little bit.
Yeah, when you have your left center back making a 50-yard run up the left sideline, you gotta do that.
Well, when you have all the substitutions and as deep of a squad as they do tonight in a friendly, a little free to go for that second goal in that way.
Oh, I think he got the ball there.
It looked like from the very start of the step over, he was committed to that flop.
Clearly, has not been paying attention to the fact that the ref has not called a single thing here in these in these opening 67 minutes. So, I mean, not that there's been a lot of big offenses, but he also. But that last handball was definitely like a handball. They were just
refs might also have reservations at O-zones.
Someone seemed to hustle. How did that not go in if you're Livonia City?
Gracious, Will Berry, very unlucky, finds himself on his back and then cleared off the line by Max Crawford, who we have been saying his name a lot in the first 22 minutes of this second half.
Did Berry push that up against the post?
He did, and he just awkwardly fell down, and somehow the ball stayed out.
Yeah, the ball hit
twice.
his back, but somehow did not roll far enough into the goal for the equalizer. If you're Lansing Common, you got to kind of get a heads up here, because that's really the first time Livonia City's really been on any sort of threatening position here in the second half. And
perhaps the issues with the wet turf and the wind.
Of course.
I wonder if reaction time from Will, that's not something I've seen from him before, and he might have just been caught up a little off guard because he's able to get up to that crossbar.
And perhaps the angle of the sun may have also
down from behind, earning a free kick.
Sun in the eyes, perhaps, for Mr. Berry as well.
Yeah, the Livonia's keeper was sort of half-heartedly calling for offsides, but the defender was having none of it, going for the takedown there. As Seth Russ is going to line up on this free kick for Lansing Common.
Nice job by Omar there to get past his defender and then draw the foul there in a sort of dangerous position here.
Max Crawford and Brett Swatton about 50 yards behind the run of play, appearing to have a laugh with Livonia City's forward over how that ball did not go in.
And an opportunity for a substitution here for Livonia City.
So it's going to be number 20, Tiago Moraes, coming back into the match. He started for them. Number 4, Gavin Cameron, coming off for Livonia City. Thank you to the PA announcer for letting us know, so I could pretend that I knew exactly what was coming off.
Rourke Watterson been a little bit less of a factor in the second half, and I wonder if Livonia maybe wasn't taking him as seriously as they maybe could have in the first half and are starting to shade his way a little bit more.
Yeah,
because
that may the more numbers they are throwing toward the defensive side might also have played a part in that as well.
Josh, as soon as you mentioned that, we did see number 6 for Livonia City doing some shadowing of him pretty closely.
Well, speaking of, he just got in a great position here.
great ball into the box. Nobody on the other end, and Seth Russ unable to catch up to it.
Yeah, if Seth Russ looked like he kind of stopped there when if he had kept going, might have had a shot at the ball. But
had a stiff tailwind at the back of the ball there.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Who knows what the instructions are? Maybe the instruction is to stop on crosses like that, stop at the top of the 6 or 8-10 yards out and wait for the ball there.
Or perhaps got his cleat stuck in the wet
Jack
turf.
Voigt's Spring Arbor teammate coming in for Jack Voigt. Going over to that left wing position.
Samuel Contreras coming in as well.
Another high schooler.
Sammy Contreras is somebody who has really shown out a lot in the last few days for Lansing Common. A couple training sessions and the community kickoff last weekend.
Yeah, Josh Maderi also in for Common. He's remember him from his days at Mason High School and now for Spring Arbor.
Might have a head
couple of
injury
turf
down there.
monsters there as well.
Derby seems to be working out a cramp.
Well, it's a bit of a one-on-one there, and Barry kind of came out and grabbed the ball. And I think there was, as Barry came out for the ball at the same time, the three of them came to the same spot there. There was a little bit of a collision. But it looks like the Lansing Common defender got the worst of it.
We got a couple substitutions that we're catching up to here. Sammy Contreras, number 24, into a central midfielding position. Another new member of the squad, number 16, Yair Hernandez out of Monterrey, Mexico. Just checked in for Jack Heald, who played over 70 minutes.
Well, the injury is serious enough that the ref is calling for an immediate substitution.
And entering the game for Livonia City FC, number 10, Giovanni Cabelli.
Well, we have a bit of a break in the action here. As a fan of kits, Livonia City really reminds me of a combination of an old Everton and with the tries on the sides, and then the stripe across the front is a Chicago Fire kind of combination.
Hummel is the official kit provider of the Midwest Premier League. You will not see Hummel anywhere close to Lansing Common, as we, of course, have a great relationship with Moneyball here locally in Lansing. Moneyball produced these red kits in commemoration of the 10th year of soccer at this level in Lansing in recent history. In these on the red home kits, you're going to see some elements from Lansing United, as well as some Lansing Ignite. You got the hoops, and you also have the shading, as well as the traditional sash that Lansing Common always has in the red kits. Jeff Sykes from Moneyball also did a striped number for the second option for Lansing Common that pays homage to a Lansing soccer club that's older than anybody at Eastern Stadium today, from the turn of the last century, the turn of the 20th century, that is. Cool little story about that on our Twitter and Instagram pages. Livonia again trying to be dangerous. Again, nobody in the box to see this cross as it goes over the goal line for a goal kick.
I think those jerseys have quite the nice crest on them too, Josh.
That's right. 10 years of Lansing soccer calls for a special logo, a new take on the Robin, again evoking that 100-year history of soccer in Lansing.
We should say that was Max Crawford, who was down 3 or 4 minutes ago, and he did walk off under his own power, but he's now on the sideline kind of stretching his legs out. So I mean, that could be a sign that he will eventually be okay.
Thank you, Phil.
You're welcome.
Concussions, not something we want to mess around with.
Yeah, I don't know if I think it was more of a leg injury than a concussion.
Okay.
But
the only thing that made me say that was the way the ref was acting.
Yeah,
but,
it was weird. But I think when I looked over there, they were doing like leg exercises down while I was laying on
Yeah.
the ground. So I did not think it was work. Heck, it could have been both.
Opportunity here for Common. Livonia City recovers quite well, though.
Yeah, it looked like Russ had a chance to maybe drive the ball forward there a little bit instead of hanging out there and waiting to pick somebody
Sammy
out.
Contreras finding some space. Losing the ball and a defender goes flying.
What opportunity here.
Yair looking dangerous. Finding Sammy Omar. According to Shetty Omar, Sammy is the best at soccer of the brothers. I think Shetty meant except himself, but it's also hard to say that brotherly talent evaluation might not be the most reliable or objective. Sammy certainly is a little bit smaller than both his brothers and is able to do a lot with his feet despite that.
Heck of a ball there to Russ.
Oh, nice attempt. Josh Madiri there on the other end of that ball. Yeah, Phil, I wonder about this weather. Because just the combination of the wet turf with the sunshine, with the wind is not those are not conditions that these guys have played in before. And I have noticed those balls are starting to settle a little bit as the match goes on, starting to adjust a little bit to the conditions, and certainly there'll be more consistency in the conditions and more consistency in the turf as the summer plays out. Might be a little bit different of a playing surface than a lot of these guys have at their college homes.
Yeah, it's one of those things where that last Russ cross there, he had 3 guys he could have picked out there, and Didn't have as much mustard as some of the overcrosses we've seen earlier, but that one still had a little touch too much here. I think Livonia City's trying to switch things up here a little bit in the last 10 minutes if they want to try to get an equalizer here.
Headed to safety by Ben Derby, but Livonia does earn a corner.
Pretty sure that's their first corner of the game, if I'm not mistaken.
First free kick of the game, I think. Free header in the box from Livonia, but goes just wide.
You know, Phil, every time you mention mustard, all I can think about are hot dogs.
Well, now that tells me I'm saying the word mustard too much, so I got.
I've probably thought about hot dogs.
I got to take that word out of my vocabulary.
Let's say 3 times today. That's all.
We're gonna have to take a viewer poll. I want to see in the comments if Phil is saying mustard too much. There were some hot dogs in the concession stands earlier, but I believe those were left here by the Lansing School District. I don't think.
Suitable for consumption.
I just don't think we go for the hot food here. We've got a fine selection of food trucks that take care of that for us. So also might be a health department issue, as you alluded to. Seth Russ looking dangerous, and defenders double teaming him seem to agree. Able to find Madiri. Give it a cheeky touch over to Sammy Contreras.
No, that's off a throw-in too.
Looks like Livonia is also going to make another substitution here at the next opportunity.
So we just crossed the 82-minute mark here. He's on if he can get to it.
Oh, it just
can't, and wisely does not try to slide to keep it in, as the concrete here starts just a couple feet beyond the either goal line.
Looks like Lansing Common is ready to dial in 3 subs here for the final 5-6 minutes. See, Devlin McGinnis, Ty Uziak, and Kyle Buchanan are ready to come on here for
Buckin. Sorry to hang you out to dry there, Phil.
Yeah, no, you did. You even went over his pronunciation in the pregame, and I saw the name. I was like,
hey,
I saw the name, and I was like, oh no.
We were moving fast. Yeah, it's not just a friendly. In the Midwest Premier League this year, subs are going to be able to re-enter, and so I'm going to have to work on my pencil marking over here.
It's kind of interesting that they do that.
We're bringing it in more in line with the NCAA rules. Thankfully, that is not going to mean a clock that counts down.
That stops.
Correct. No, there will be no buzzer beaters at Lansing Common games for the foreseeable future. Hopefully not ever.
And I enjoy an NCAA soccer match. Don't get me wrong, but some of the rules they use are just American, let's just say.
Sammy Contreras, Sammy Omar, and Seth Russ coming out of the game for the Robins. So you got Ty Uziak checking back in, as we were just alluding to, as well as Dev McGinnis. Wasn't as much of a factor in the first half, young Dev, but the coaches thought that was not on Dev so much as it was his teammates' inability to get in the box when he had the ball in a dangerous position. So Not necessarily his fault, and not going to be a mark against him for future games, I don't think. Wouldn't be surprised if he continues to feature prominently as he's seeking to add his name to a long list of dangerous wingers for Lansing Common the last 3 years.
Yeah, I didn't think he did anything. I didn't think he's had a wrong foot stepped or anything like that either. I think he's in line to earn plenty of playing time here so far this season for the Robins.
5 minutes left. I'm realizing that Greg's got a story about the derbies that he hasn't told yet. So as the ball pings around midfield.
As previously alluded to, being a Hazlitt alum, my coach playing soccer was actually Todd Derby. Creative tactics always, and certainly enjoyed playing for him, and definitely highlighted or gave me the ability to love soccer for more than just the aspects of running around. That was quite a long time ago, though, 2003, 2004. But Todd was a great coach back then, and I was thrilled to see that he joined the staff here this season.
Todd Derby, a wonderful man. I will miss his comments on the live stream as he's now on the sideline, but we'll see if we can't get him up here in the booth for maybe one of the reserve squad games or another friendly.
And at that time, he was also coaching, besides the boys, also the girls as well.
Breakaway for Lansing Common. Can Ty convert?
No, it's close though.
Misses the far post as the keeper had nothing to do but watch it go by.
Same thing that led to the first goal for Lansing Common. Another one-on-one and then a miscue from the Livonia City defender, and Ty just picks his pocket and tries to set himself up for a nice shot there, but just misses the mark there.
It's an interesting strategy from Sorg to say, we can't press for 90 minutes, so I'm not going to tell you guys to press across the whole top line, but pick your spots. And if you see your teammate pressing, look up and be smart about what opportunities it's going to create. And it has led to a lot of danger.
My counter to that is, if they've had success in just this small patch of doing it, what if they had applied it for the entire, or not even the entire time, that they applied it for like 15, 20 minutes? They might have 3 or 4 goals at this point.
Well, we'll see what the tactics look like in our first league road trip to Northern Indiana in a few weeks.
And just to cap off the Greg's historical soccer stories,
please,
moment. The better of the two siblings between my sister and I also played for Coach Derby as well. She spent 4 years on varsity. I'm a year 2-year player.
Greg, you also had a referee from those years who was a prominent local Lansing soccer figure.
Yes. Brent Sorg refereeing back in that day as well. And I'm not sure. There was another gentleman who was also in Phil's field. Steve Grinzel also refereed back in those days. He spent time at the high school. And I do recall, I think he was an NCAA official as well for a bit of time.
Livonia really creating some danger here.
They had a dangerous cross in the box there, but Isa made got the ball out of there.
Good young player. Didn't see a lot of time for Lansing Common, but has really shown these last few days. And somebody who had coffee with Brent Sorg to talk about the season expectations on Friday, and that was a name that he tossed out as definitely going to figure this summer.
A dangerous opportunity here for Livonia City, though. One of their best free kick positions of the game.
Good ball in.
Just one man in the wall, and Ben Derby heads the ball away from the 6. Poor choice there to play a negative ball into the box. But TJ Withrow able to block it out for a corner.
So we approach the 90-minute mark here. I presume we're going to see and get a hand here. And how many extra minutes? Perhaps 4 or 5?
I was going to say 3 or 4, so let's settle on 4. Oh, good ball. Oh.
Great save by Will Berry. Ball comes back into the box, and Ben Derby again wins a header at the top of the 6. Dangerous ball on the ground from Livonia. Again snuffed out.
It's the second time Livonia City's had a free header off a corner here in the second half. They weren't able to take advantage. Great save there by the keeper to keep a clean sheet as we enter stoppage time here.
No signal from the officials yet on how long we'll be in stoppages.
A little bizarre. We haven't seen the three minutes, but they haven't. There it is.
Perhaps, Phil, you should have listened to yourself.
We're gonna have to invite you guys back just to guess on stoppage time in future games.
That's one of my favorite things to do while watching.
I mean, it made sense.
On television.
I said 3 to 4. You said 4 to 5. We split the difference. Speculative shot from Livonia City there.
Was that from 40 yards out?
Yeah,
Almost took out the football play clock.
Somebody told that kid that we go to penalty kicks if it's tied. As our viewers on the stream can see, we have crested our first 60 seconds of extra time. The crowd here at Eastern Stadium flying blind.
That is one of the weirder things about professional soccer is that no professional stadium or college or high school has the stoppage time clock on on their scoreboard or anything. So everyone's just guessing. Players, managers, everything.
I think it just adds to the allure
I always
of the
wondered
game.
if it was one of those purity of the game things. Don't know though. Ooh. Little extra there.
Yeah.
On
young Avery. He still got muscled off the ball there, but Avery Dreesky with a nice recovery there.
I saw Dresky for the first time at training on Thursday, and I was referring to his newfound facial hair and said, looking a little different this summer. And he said, yeah, I'm a little bigger. So apparently the young man put on some muscle last school year at St. Bonaventure. He did get a lot of playing time for them. Livonia seems to have found that juice that they were looking for in the first half.
Well,
might be too little too late here with about 30 seconds left in this one.
Say Lansing Common, they're 30 seconds away from a rivalry trophy here.
And the additional orange barrel that is prominently displaying the trophy in the supporters section. Well, you might have a thrower there.
Another dangerous opportunity off a throw-in.
Free in the box, and he's got some runners. Another nice save. Twos. Might lead to an opportunity. No, sir. Yair Hernandez steps up on that. He's coming back the other way for the Robins.
Usac back on, tries to thread it in. Keeper comes out. Oh.
Josh Madiri just had no idea the ball was still loose behind him at the 6 there.
We're 30 seconds past the 3 minutes now. We'll see. Ref has the whistle in his mouth.
A sigh of relief for Lansing Common fans as the supporters hold the inaugural I-96 Derby trophy aloft. 1-0, not a typical scoreline for a Lansing Common game, but certainly a typical scoreline for a game against Livonia. They are always tight. But a good result here. Good to have the opener for 2024 leave a good taste in all of these supporters' mouths. Phil Friend, Greg Kerner, thank you guys so much for joining me.
Thanks for having us, Josh.
Yeah. Appreciated.
I can promise the viewers every game is not going to be just like this, but we are going to try to have fun. We are going to try to have more voices as Marshall Acosta, Lansing Common's full-time color commentator, graduating from Aquinas College, will be back in the booth with me starting next weekend. We'll see you all back here. Thank you so much. Signing off.